I'm Larissa Rubijevsky with Remax Palace Verdes.
I'm Mike Bjork with First Cal Mortgage, and welcome to South Bay Market Reports.
Today we're going to be talking about 17-day contingency period for the buyers. Very interesting topic and something that you have to be absolutely aware of. This is the crucial part of the whole entire transaction, most stressful one. Let's start with understanding where exactly that begins. For example, I'm the seller, I'm giving you the signed contract today. Tomorrow is day one out of your 17-day contingency period. And within that time, you as a buyer have the diligence to investigate the property condition, to make sure that you are comfortable with that, go back and forth with the repair request if needed. And the most important part in this world is to make sure that you secure and approve your loan. Mike, how things with you in that regard?
What we do is we want to make sure we've already gone through the pre-approval process. So you got majority of your work out from that process. So the next step for us will be to go ahead and order your appraisal, which could take about a week in its time frame, sometimes sooner, but usually about a week time frame. Once we receive those appraisals, we go ahead and submit those to underwriting on those. Something else to keep in mind is the out-of-pocket costs. We have appraisals as well as inspections. And some lenders even throw in a credit report fee, but that's not something that we handle ourselves, just the upfront appraisal fees. And again, this could take, pushing the limit for most people, but we're getting done rather quickly.
Now, speaking of the time frame of 17 days, consider this as a luxury and applies only to the standard sales. For example, you are an investor or a buyer who would like to purchase distressed property, or REOs like we call them. Usually the bank presses you with the time frame that it's as short as 10 days instead of 17. And what I advise to my clients to start all this preliminary work way before we get the acceptance. Before the final acceptance, banks usually, if they're the sellers of the foreclosed properties, take about 10 business days or so before they completely approve your offer. So that's the period of time that you have to start your loan process and your investigation process. Lenders, normally, it's not enough for them to get you approved in 10 days unless you work with Mike and he can do it on time.
Exactly. So most of what we're going to do is we're going to have all that stuff up front from you, and then what we'll do is we usually, if there's small little conditions, we try to think ahead. So any letters of explanations we want to submit, and what we want to do is, so when we get the conditions or the approval, there's very minimal or nothing at all for condition-wise, and that way we can have a nice clean approval so you can go ahead and release your contingencies.
Right. Let's talk about the release of your contingency. That's the most important part because your deposit is online. Page number 7 in purchase agreement of CAR spells the clause that calls liquidated damages. Once you sign it and once you acknowledge it, you understand that once you remove your contingencies in writing, your deposit is getting unrefundable. Before you do that, there is a huge amount of risk involved if you are running late with approval for the loan appraisal and if you have any doubts about the condition of the house. So what you need to do, let's say you are running late. What are your choices? Number one, you can go to the seller and say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm running late. Please give me a couple of more days to wrap the loan around and to do the rest of my due diligence. The seller can say two things. Of course, I can give it to you, or they can say, no, we're not going to give it to you. Here's the notice to buyer to perform, which spells that within 24 or 48 hours, depending on the contractual obligations that you have with the seller, seller has the right to cancel on you and to give you deposit back. And you as a buyer can either argue that and risk it, or just take your deposit and go, find something else. Also, the seller can say, all right, I'll give you the extension, maybe 2, 3, 5 days, whatever you need, but I'm going to put on you per diem charges, and sometimes it might be quite costly. They run normally between $100 to $300 a day, and I'm not a big fan of it because I don't like my clients to waste time and money that way. So we just have to be very careful that we are not late with the contingency removal.
Yeah, this can be a very important why you really also need to know who you're going to do, who's going to handle your lending for you, because if you decide rate shop this time period, you can easily go over and spend the per diem, as Larissa was just saying, and that could cost you even more money down the road. So this is really important why you have to have everything up front and make sure you have a loan officer that can plan ahead, make sure they have all their ducks in a row and get you taken care of in that contingency period.
Real estate transaction nowadays is a very complex process. We are here to educate you, so please call anytime with no obligations, and we'll be happy to discuss any questions that you might have. I'm at 310-387-1414.
And I'm at 310-694-3544.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Have a great day.